They limped away from the planet, a line of freighters and shuttles and every other type of ship as could be found on the outer rim. A line of bedraggled, horrified refugees. Cernpedal was a dead thing, oblivious to the pain and the destruction. Han Solo stared at the wobbling planet for a long, long time, his eyes registering the truth that his heart could not. "We've got 111 ships in the convoy," Anakin said, coming up behind his father nervously, not really knowing what to say or do, whether to hug Han or run away from him. Han turned to face his young son, his face blank as if he had not heard. 111... Anakin started to reiterate. "You left him," Han said, quietly, calmly. The accusation hit Anakin as hard as any punch ever could. Anakin stuttered over several replies. We had to get out of there," he finally managed to say. "The moon was coming down."
"Chewie, who had just done everything to save you," Han said with a growl, poking his finger into Anakin's chest. "You left him!"
Anakin turned and ran off. Han stormed back to the Falcon's bridge. How alone he felt when he turned and saw the empty seat beside him. "I'm going back," Han told himself. Chewie found a way to get off planet. Logically, it seemed impossible, but logic could not play here in Han's emotional turmoil. He called to the next ship in the long line, a freighter, and offered the coordinates for Derillion. Then he brought the Falcon about hard, turning back for Cernpedal, turning back for Chewie. "Need help!" came a distress call, screaming across all channels from one of the convoy ships before Han had gone halfway through the maneuver. "Now!" the ship's pilot called out. "They're coming through! Giant bugs!" Han grumbled and muttered a stream of curses, but he could not ignore that call, and so he brought up the coordinates of the call and put the Falcon on course for the hailing ship, a shuttle far back in the line. "Insects," he muttered. But even as he said the word, his skepticism faded in the face of what his eyes were plainly showing him. Insects. Huge creatures boring through the titanium alloy hull of the shuttle. "Breach! Breach!" came the desperate cry from the ship. Han brought the Falcon in fast, and brought his shields up to full, and even cranked off a shot with his forward laser cannon, blasting one hovering insect into a million pieces. But there was little he could do for the doomed shuttle. He saw a pair of insects boring into the ion drives, and then the shuttle exploded, disappearing in a blaze of sparks and a puff of flame. Han threw the Falcon all about the area, seeking any remaining enemies. His instruments noted another ship a long way off and not moving very quickly. It was too far for him to get any identification. He opened a channel to it, calling out. No response. Han called again, then put his communicator through a search of all frequencies. "Skip Duran is damaged. Aid. Skip Duran is damaged." The same message played back to Han again and again. It had been recorded and put on automatic send, he understood, and he feared that Kip Duran might be already dead. Han called to the lead ship in the convoy. "You keep your line and your course. Get some of the quicker ships running a watch line along both flanks. Watch out for those bug things. I'm going after that other ship. I think it's a friend of mine." He clicked off the external communicator, then, after a moment's pause, turned on the ship's internal intercom. He sat staring at it for a long, long while, then blew a sigh. "Anakin," he called. "I could use a co-pilot up here." A few moments later, his son walked tentatively into the control room and slipped quietly into the seat beside him. "We've got a distress call," Han explained, his tone cold and calm. "I think it's Kip. Got himself into some kind of trouble." Anakin wanted to tell his father again that he had flown off Cernpedal to save the Falcon, that they had run out of time, that there was nothing they could have done to save Chewbacca. Even to determined Anakin, those words seemed hollow indeed in light of the reality, in light of the fact that Chewie was gone. was dead, and that the Wookiee had died saving him. The burden of that awful truth bowed the boy's head. Kip Duran walked into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon a short while later, having come across on a walking dock a tube extending from the freighter that had connected the X-Wing to hard dock with the Falcon's upper hatch. "Do you know what those bug things are?" Han asked a moment later. Kip shrugged. "We followed a ship from Belkaden to the fourth planet of the Helska system," he explained, "and there we got—" He paused and swallowed hard several times. "All 13 of the others?" Han asked, catching on. Kip nodded grimly. "By the bug things?" "They came after," Kip explained, and he went on to detail the asteroid-like starfighters, telling how his buddies had their shields torn away one by one. Han started to reply, but he paused, staring intently at his console screen. Scores of signals were appearing, and then more and more and more large signals, stronger than any the insectoid creatures might show. "Tell me about these starfighter things again," he said. "They put the call out immediately to the convoy to break ranks and head for Lando's place. Then pilots laid in their course and jumped to hyperspace.